Earlier this evening, in a homeless encampment, there was a tragic shooting that has involved multiple victims. This is an active crime scene, and in a moment, Chief Kathleen O'Toole will fill you in on the details. I just want to reiterate what I said earlier tonight in my live broadcast to the people of the city of Seattle. We are involved in a homeless crisis, the like that we have not seen since the Great Depression. The executive order was not a gimmick. It was an actual plea that Seattle by ourselves cannot deal with this crisis. It was an actual plea to the state and federal government to assist us. The area behind us, on state right-of-way, commonly called the jungle, has been unmanageable and out of control for almost 2 decades. I spoke with the governor and with the county executive. And all 3 governments in the next 48 hours will launch an assessment of state right-of-way connected to I-5 to the city of Seattle. That assessment will be coordinated by our fire chief, Harold Scoggins. When that assessment is completed and we understand better how we can finally take control of the situation, we will make that information available to you. Let me reiterate, this is a tragedy. It involves homeless people, and the causes of homelessness are complex. There is no simple answer, and this is not the time to go back into our individual camps and start firing at each other. This is a time for us to actually, once again, together to try and solve this crisis in this city. But I want to reiterate this. This city, no city in America, deal with a crisis this large without our state and federal partners stepping up. Chief O'Toole?
Thank you, Mayor. Some of the information that I'll provide, I'll reiterate the comments that Chief Murner made earlier. At approximately 7:20 this evening, officers from our South Precinct responded here to a call for shots fired. They were assisted by King County Sheriffs and also by the Washington State Patrol. They discovered on arrival that 5 people had been hit by gunfire. One person was declared deceased at the scene. Another person was declared deceased at Harborview Medical Center following transport by the Seattle Fire Department. 3 other victims remain at Harborview in critical condition. We understand 2 are in surgery at this point. We do have at least 2 persons of interest. We believe this was a targeted incident. We have no reason to believe anyone else is in danger at this point, but we have sent officers from our anti-crime teams from different precincts to neighboring locations, to neighboring encampments, to check on the well-being of people who may be there, and also to reassure them at this time. So again, we have no reason to believe there's any ongoing danger at this point. We have several witnesses to the incident, and the witnesses are being, several witnesses to the incident. The witnesses are being questioned now by our homicide detectives, and we're hoping that those will be productive interviews. But again, we do have some persons of interest, and at such time we can share names or photos, we will. We're not in a position to do that yet because we want to make sure that we interview the witnesses prior to that. So that's all at this point, and I'll turn it over to Chief Scoggins.
Good evening, Harold Scoggins, Fire Chief. Seattle Fire Department responded here tonight in support of Seattle PD for 5 victims that were shot. I got to say, I'm proud of the firefighters and the paramedics for the work that they did tonight, working up the patients that they could. They got 4 patients to the hospital, even though 1 has passed away at the hospital. They quickly assessed the 1 patient that was up in the hills here in a very hazardous environment. They did the best they could before they had to pronounce that patient. So we're going to be here to support the police department with what they need. And as the mayor said, we'll be working with the county and the state government to coordinate the evaluation of the area. Thank you.
So we will take a few questions.
Over the next 48 hours.
When you say targeted, Chief O'Toole, when you say targeted, do you mean
they were targeted because they were homeless, or because of specifically who they were?
No, we don't think they were targeted because they're homeless. They were targeted specifically because of who they were.
This assessment over the next 48 hours, will that involve removing anyone, or will anyone be removed after that?
Well, you know, the area in question had already been signed for tomorrow for us to go in and do cleanups and to offer people services. Regrettably, the size of this tragedy, we didn't get to them sooner. Currently, the police will be here tonight to make sure that the people who are still homeless and sleeping in this area are safe. Again, we will continue to offer folks services to the extent that we can do that.
Mayor, if you could just redress and forgive me because you're facing
I'm sorry.
that way. No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
okay. That's okay. Just to address, to elaborate a little more on this effort to try and clean up underneath I-5 and state right-of-ways. Had that been considered before tonight's events?
Yeah, the whole point of my speech tonight and the declaration of emergency is that in one of the arguments we're having in this city is that one of the things we have to do is we have to go into these encampments on state right-of-way, offer people services, clean the place up, and try and get people out. This area was actually marked for that process tomorrow. Let me reiterate, there is no single answer. It's going in, it's offering services. If people are breaking the law, it's arresting those people. It's cleaning up the garbage, the human waste, and the needles. And it is not going to be easy, given the size of this crisis.
What does this situation mean for the urgency moving forward?
I don't know what more I can say about the urgency moving forward, considering the speech I gave tonight. We've done a state of civil emergency on a human service issue, almost never done in the United States. This city put in now $50 million, $7 million just in recent weeks. We're opening up a new shelter capacity roughly every 2.5 weeks. We're sending out a mobile van to offer mental health treatment, addiction treatment, and medical care. But as I said earlier tonight, the city by itself can't do this. We need resources from the federal and state government.
Are you worried this will give skeptics more ammunition? I mean, you seem to be fighting a little bit of that in your speech earlier. Are you worried this will hurt the cause?
Well, you know, I'm sure folks can find reasons in what happened here tonight to go back to the old arguments, but that's not going to help us all to get people off this street. You know, I want to reiterate it. There are lots of reasons that people are homeless. Yes, some are involved in criminal activity. Most probably have an addiction problem. Many are mentally ill. Remember, we're the bottom of the country in providing mental health services. Some simply lost their jobs and are in economic hard times. 3,000 school-aged children in this city are homeless. So I think it would be a travesty if some people use this tragedy to try and paint all homeless people as criminals. What it points to is that we have a huge crisis that this city has stepped up and addressed, and we desperately need help, particularly from the federal government.
Do you think this could have happened in a regulated encampment?
So, you know, we have no crime in regulated encampments. That's one of the reasons that I pushed through council legislation to open up 3 legal encampments on public property. They are mostly up and running as well. That's why we identified, it took us a little longer than it should have, but that's why we identified 2 places for people who are sleeping in their cars to park. These are individuals who are not involved, again, in illegal behavior.
You can't name the suspects, I get that, but is it possible you could tell us whether they use this as a destination in this targeted shooting, or did they live there?
No, I think it would be, it's impossible to say at this time. We do have some very good leads. We're working those leads. We have witnesses. And as soon as we can release the information, we will.
Can you tell us how many people live in the area? Give us a description of the geographic area.
The geographic area. The area that we're going to be evaluating is, if you looked at it on the map, it would be Dearborn to the north, Lucille to the south, 12th Ave.
Sorry, Lucille?
Lucille to the south, 12th Avenue to the east, and Airport Way to the west. So if you laid that out on a map, that would be your geography. I think the population changes probably daily. It's a transient population, so it would be hard to put a number there.
Mayor Murray, one can't help but miss the irony that as you're giving this speech regarding the homeless situation in Seattle, this happens. Just from an emotional, thoughtful point of view, when you heard about this, as you're giving this speech on this very issue, your immediate thought and your immediate reaction to it.
Well, you can't help but wonder, I can't help but wonder, did I act too late? That's my reaction. Maybe I should have issued the state of emergency months earlier. We have tried to do the best that we can given the circumstances we have. But obviously, I'm going to question: was I good enough at my own job? It's on me in the end.
I got time for one more, guys. Last one.
Who's still out there searching for the suspects at this hour?
We have our real-time, the Seattle Police Department Real-Time Crime Center activated. They're working furiously right now to help identify potential suspects, suspect locations. Our homicide unit is working, conducting interviews of witnesses at this point. We have our SWAT team still here on the scene. We have our anti-crime teams from different precincts that we've mobilized to this area. Seattle police officers in general out on patrol are on the lookout for these potential suspects. So everybody's working very hard at this point. We also appreciate the help that we received earlier and will continue to receive from King County and from the Washington State Patrol.
All right, that's enough, everybody. Thank you.
Could this have been drug related?
Suspects?
No, there are at least two.
Chief, is this drug related? Do you know?
Unknown at this point.
All right, thank you, everyone.